You are in for a real treat. This episode was originally recorded for my other podcast, but for you, it's been upgraded and transformed, and now you have the Ask the Pro show. So everything mentioned in this episode will now be found on chrisdufay.com, plus so much more, as I've designed the Ask the Pro podcast and chrisdufay.com to give you exactly what you need to grow your business success and for you to have the money, the freedom, and the happiness you want, making a bigger and better impact to the world unselfishly. So now it's time to delve straight into this episode, and I want you to lap up and enjoy every single second of it. The gorgeous and magnificent Charlie, thank you so much for coming onto the Turning Pro Academy podcast. I'm pumped to have you here. We've only just been chatting for 10 minutes so far, and I've had to stop you, tell you to shut up and hit record, because I know everything that we're about to be going into, the listener's just going to be frothing on at the mouth. So before we kind of delve into anything, because I'm going to be mixing in you, the magnificent Charlie, and Charlie's balls, which the listener's soon going to find out why they are so phenomenal. Who are you, Charlie? Why are you so phenomenal?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I guess I'm actually learning this myself every day. I started with a skincare background, and I've been in health for the last 10 years. Felt that I really wanted to create a change with people's lives, and the Charlie's Balls or Clean Treats just kind of happened. And in the same time that I was finding myself through yoga and doing a lot of personal work about what I wanted in the world, but also what I wanted to do for myself and who I wanted to be. And it was through this change that I was doing speaking and talking inspiring events about self-love and learning how to appreciate who you are and looking into the mirror and being okay with what you see, not comparing yourself to, what media tells you is beautiful or successful, but actually being able to say, this is me and I am beautiful. So I was going through a lot of self-love process and doing seminars about what I was learning, but also about the health coaching and skincare and everything that I've learned over the past 10 years. And somebody said to me, you should sell your balls. And, obviously there's a lot of giggles that kind of happen. About every day. So coming from sales background as well, I kind of just started knocking on some doors, and it kind of grew from there. And also I just had to make it work. I wasn't working full time. It was my, the seminars and things weren't providing a full-time income. So I had to find a way that I could make something of what I believed and also make it a lifestyle for myself. So yeah, and it also kind of tied in because everything I was talking about was mind, body, and soul. I believe that everything that we are and everything that we do starts in the mind. So, whether you're looking to get fit or healthy, it can't just be going to the gym or changing your diet. You've got to change your mindset first. You've got to ask yourself why. What is your driving why? And if you want to chase your dreams or find your passion or create change in your life, you've got to find your why and understand that. So it's all about mind, body, and then also soul. And, the soul comes into the self-love. It comes into the little things like karma, holding a door open for somebody. We forget these little things, saying please, saying thank you. I'm a very big believer in these. And these are the things that we can create a change in the world. But we're all getting so consumed with social media and likes and popularity that we forget we're all human, where we need to be kind to one another, and we're all suffering the same battles or fighting our own fights. So the soul also comes into having giggles. As you know, Chris, you've got Arlo, and you were just talking to me about, having giggles a lot of the time. And there's nothing like a child's laugh, it's organic, contagious. Yeah. So basically, it's contagious when you're around children, and as adults, we forget to laugh. So it brings me so much pleasure to have the fact that, I call my clients and I'm like, so how are my balls? Or when I'm talking to people, it's, I'm doing a promotion. Yesterday I was doing a promotion, and I just say to people, would you like to eat my balls? And of course they're going to stop and have a giggle. And obviously I'm Charlie and I'm a female, so I can kind of get away with saying that. So
I can't say that. I can't get away with saying that, but okay, fair enough. You can have that one.
Yeah, because obviously I'm a female. I only have one type of balls.
How many hashtags have you created so far, Charlie? This is something I'm interested in.
when it first, I didn't even create the hashtag Charlie's Balls. One of my clients created it because I was, Clean Treats was the business. And then somebody was like, when are you bringing me Charlie's Balls? I want to eat Charlie's Balls. And then it just started.
Wow,
and
that's cool.
I know. And it's just worked. And it's just so simple. And it's just, I wondered at the beginning where would be too far. Yeah. But then I hear some different things and I'm kind of like, yeah, that's kind of not too far. Talking about being balls deep and how many and stuff.
This is going to get so good. Okay. I kind of want to take a step back because what I'm thinking was you were doing the life coaching, you were doing your seminars and you were going through everything. When did you actually started creating Charlie's Balls and kind of like, was it just for yourself? Were you making them for friends? And then also how were you kind of integrating like what you actually wanted to create of them, like what flavors or like where did it kind of evolve from?
So what basically happened is I was business development manager for a fitness company and I also used to do fitness modeling. So I used to live on protein powders and supplements. And when I would do taste testings for this business, I would create products. I used to make protein muffins and cakes and cheesecakes and I would take them to samplings and obviously being able to show people what you can do with a protein powder, but also to increase their protein intake when they are starting at the gym was a great benefit to obviously increase sales, but also brand exposure as well. And getting creative. And that's what I actually love to do. And I should just say that I actually don't like being in the kitchen, which is really interesting. And I don't find myself that I'm creative with recipes at all. They just somehow seem to happen. Yeah. So I was doing, like fully protein influenced products. And I actually became quite sick. I had a lot of digestive disorders. And about the same time is when I had just kind of started learning about health coaching. I was doing my coaching certificate and started a blog. And then I was having digestive disorders. And so I had to kind of monitor what I was putting into my body that was artificial.
There's a lot of whey protein.
Yeah, and all of the, all of the additives that are in there. And, I mean, I was also on a lot of fat burners and I couldn't go to the gym without a pre-workout. And, then there was aminos. And so, my supplement cupboard was pretty full. And I guess after years and obviously the fitness modeling, and I did it also when there was a lack of education as well. So, it was basically the greens and the chicken diet for 12 weeks. So, and then a binge eat or a cheat meal as it's called. And, that was back in when it was very, very new. I mean, I'm talking like 5 years ago. It's very different now. There's a healthy way to do it. And I know I've worked with you, Chris, and it's been like I've seen great results from your coaching. So then I had to start working for the company I was working with and I decided to just go on my own. It was just, you start to do things 50-50 and you have to ask yourself, am I prepared to back myself 100%? Or, because there comes a time when you can't keep going and everything's getting 50-50 and the person that you're working for isn't getting enough, but you're also not giving enough to yourself.
Yep.
So you have to ask yourself, can I do it? And you make the commitment and you take the risk. And I mean, I just did it. I'm a bit of an impulse person. And even with Clean Treats and Charlie's Balls, you can see that now. I don't really have a planning structure. And I just did it. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to be. And for 6 months, I just started the coaching. I had the book that I released, which was the 21-day program, Live a Life You Love, and then did seminars through a lot of fitness centers, again, based on a mind, body, soul. And then, and that's when I didn't have access to all the protein powders as such. And I also wanted to just try and create real food. So this is a big passion of mine is, we need to stop dieting. We need to stop creating these things in our minds that are telling us that we can't have something or we have to do it a specific way. We're creating restrictions which only cause us to want things more. But if you just stop and eat real food, it's just that simple.
Absolutely.
It's honestly, it's that simple. Yet we're selling billions of dollars a year on all these diets and these fads and these trends that, yes, they might work for some people, but they're not going to work for everybody. And at the end of the day, a 12-week program, I can guarantee most people are looking for, what are they going to eat that's naughty at the end of 12 weeks? We've got to get back to the mind and get back to listening to our bodies. So that's what the seminars were about. And that's how Clean Treats came about and the food that I would make and showing people that healthy can be yum, it is actually really good for you.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a split with so much more for you. Now, I know You're listening and tuning in because you know how important your health is and how this can also catapult your business. This is why I'm very happy to say that this podcast is sponsored by My Body Blends and my favorite, the superfood elixir, the powerful Greens Drink. Now, this is designed specially to boost energy, aids detoxification, enhances the ability to burn fat, supports healthy carbohydrate metabolism, and best of all, is voted best tasting greens drink. Now, myself and the My Body Blends team are looking for ambassadors to join, so you and your clients get the health benefits plus adding in a strong income stream for you and your business. The ambassador program, which is by application only, means you get exclusive access to sell My Body Blends products like Superfood Elixir to your clients, plus giving you the special ambassador pricing and bonuses. So once you become an ambassador, you can join the other top health and fitness players that are adding thousands to their week's income. Now, there is only a limited number of ambassadors we are taking on board, as this is a tribe leading the way together. So to apply and to join, go to mybodyblend.com/ambassador or add the checkout code that is TurningPro, all one word, when you're going to get your own superfood elixir to order. Plus, you're going to get free shipping and a bonus to save yourself over $250 instantly. So just use that coupon code TurningPro in the checkout and you can save over $250 right now, all on mybodyblend.com. I think that's great because you went from the chicken and broccoli famous diet and now you're creating the most awesome tasting treats ever known to the human civilization. But I think you've touched on something that it really hits a heartstring with me, Charlie, and that is the leap taking that took you from working in a full-time business for someone else and then deciding to do it for yourself. And I really respect that. Everyone that I run into, there's just that respect, there's just that love that I have for that person because I'm like, I know what you've gone through. At least I know some of that gauntlet, some of those inner battles that you've had to go through in your own mind to get to that. And I think that's something I really want to highlight because I don't necessarily think it's just for the business world and just going out on your own and becoming that entrepreneur. I think it's also like everything else where you have to believe in yourself, back yourself and go a different tangent. Even in the fitness and physique world, I think a lot of people are held back because their social networks, their friends, their family aren't geared towards, say, being in shape or being really healthy or taking care of their physiques, where if they want to go down that route, they have to take that leap into themselves to be able to go there.
And true. I just wanted to say, and I love listening to your podcast, but I'm a very big believer in filling your mind with inspiration and, inspirational people as well. And I've been listening to Eric Thomas, who is my favorite lately. And one of the ones I'm listening to.
I wish I had his voice.
Oh my gosh, I know. Imagine, I don't even want to try and emulate it. I'm just like,
so close.
Caught myself. But he's like, stop trying to get other people to see your dream. They're never going to see your dream. And stop trying to get them to invest it. It's yours. It's your dream. You've got to walk the path. You've got to take the risk. You've got to put in the work. And then you can reap the benefits. And I just felt that was so true. And I just, everything that you just said, it just brought that to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like so many people are looking for other people's acceptance. And you will, as soon as you are trying to look for, and this goes super deep, but if you're looking for happiness outside of yourself, it is a failed plan. You can never get it. Happiness will only come from yourself. It's that decision that you have to make for yourself to, each and every minute, each and every second, each and every day, you have to go through that phase.
And especially being your own boss. And like you said, I applaud anybody that takes the risk, because every day I speak to people or I have people that I connect with, and, they might be where I was or where you might have been once, where you are kind of trying to start to see if you can create your own business, but you might still be working full-time or part-time. And the only thing that I ever say to these people is you've got to take the risk. You've got to make the commitment to yourself, because what that does is it is a little bit of a sink or swim, but it's also that you're showing to yourself that you're 100% prepared to make it work. But not only that, you've generally got to make it work because you've got no income. So you've got actually, you've got to put in the hard work to make it sustainable for yourself, to have this lifestyle, to have your dream, because otherwise, you're just committed to too many different things, and you're doing a little bit here and a little bit there, and you're still getting paid, so you're still in a safety nest.
Yes.
But you're not quite committed to your dream. You're still a what-if person or a one-day person. And I think that's a real shame. It is scary taking the risk, but I think it's definitely worth it. And, it's just showing yourself that you've got the belief, but you need the tools to reinstate that belief every day. And that's where you come in, like Chris, having the podcast and having the audio books, creating these healthy habits as we do that, let us lead the lifestyle we live, but also create a healthy mindset for our bodies and for our dreams to grow in.
Absolutely. I think it's such an important point you bring up, because you're feeding yourself, you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your success in your life, but you're also then kind of feeding and fueling your body at the same time. And that's what I find so beautiful about what you're doing is it's you, Charlie, you're feeding yourself and going and creating this success on the business venture with Charlie's Balls, but you're doing it through, and what I find so beautiful and eloquent is you're doing it through giving people good quality food and breaking that dogma that so many people are held back with.
And, and I think it ties so perfectly together because, again, I'm a big, passionate believer about you are what you eat. If you want to be the very best that you can be, then what are you going to have? Something that's a fast food takeaway, or are you going to have a nutritious smoothie or a salad? You need to understand about what you're putting into your body becomes you. And this goes back to my skincare history as well. I have over 10 years experience in that. So I also know how to read the skin and look at what nutrition and nutrients you're actually lacking.
You do have great skin, Charlie.
Oh, thank you. I actually have struggled through my life. I know when I'm good and I know when I'm bad, I guess. I can read it. It tells me exactly what
today's a good day. What I'm looking at, obviously the listener can't. The listener can't see this, otherwise they're a real creep and somehow. But
been monitoring myself with my own product, which is, I guess, what I say, an occupational hazard. But going back to the fact, you are what you eat, and it really is just about learning to listen to your body and eating real food. Something that I believe with my personal brand, and when I coach people or when I do seminars, that I've made the Clean Treats motto is be real, not fake. So that comes into the food that you eat, but also the person that you are. You were saying before about how people are so scared about what people think and scared of judgment. And the thing is, why don't we just be real and just be okay to admit that, man, I'm a bit scared launching this, or I'm a little bit nervous. This might work or this might not. And, I'm a bit apprehensive. It's okay to show weakness. You don't have to be strong all the time. And, you just should let go of judgment of other people, because you just don't know what their lives are like or what fights they're fighting as well. And yeah.
I think it's so true. And this just so perfect is something I listened to in a podcast. I forget the podcast I listened to it in. If I remember, I'll put it into the show notes. But I was listening to someone, the person that was getting interviewed said she was going through some psychological stuff. But anyway, her therapist told her, before you have every conversation with someone, say in your head, I love you, to that person, and then start the conversation. And I've been doing it for just over a week now. And she said she did it for 28 days. And I was like, that would be such a cool movement or something to do. Do you know what I mean? Like being able to do that. And it is profound, because when you come into it in such a positive mindset, and it's just that I love you in your own head, you don't say it out loud, because obviously if I'm talking to some Balinese shopkeeper that I'm buying a bottle of water off, okay, it could get a little bit freaky, but that's all right. But I think it's such a good way to come about it as well, because especially with a big part of what kind of encompasses what we're talking about here is really creating your dream a reality. And that is always involved with other people. Yes.
It's only an affirmation. And I actually coach my clients to do it. And I also have them write love letters to themselves, a commitment letter, and also beautiful things that they love about themselves. And I am a big follower of Louise Hay. And one of her things is, every morning when you wake up, look in the mirror, and without makeup, whatever, naked if you like, look in the mirror and say, I love it. I love you. But say it out loud, because hearing the words as well, and obviously there's probably no one around you, so you're saying it to yourself. And she goes to say that at the beginning you can look at yourself and you can have a giggle because you say it and you're like, you don't believe it, and you start pointing out like, oh, there's a bit jiggly there, or there's a wrinkle, or there's a grey hair, and you start to point out these things, but you can laugh at that and just keep saying I love you until you believe it. And as you say, before going into conversations, before going out into the world for the day, of things are going to happen and things aren't always going to be perfect, but if you can build up such an inner strength and resilience of, I love myself, I've got my own back, you're always going to be okay. And that was one of my own mantras to myself. As you were just talking about, going through some psychological issues, one of the reasons that I moved to Sydney and moved into health coaching was because I was depressed and suicidal. And I went through a very bad relationship, and I was on antidepressants, which made me 10 times worse. But what happened was, I had to get myself off them, mainly because I didn't like the fact that I was taking something that was interfering with my mind. That kind of really freaked me out. Yeah. And so I started to change my life through the healthy eating, through the healthy habits, the morning walking, these I love you rituals in the morning, having my warm water with lemon, writing down my gratitude every night. I truly believe this, and it is written in a book. I forget the name of the book. There was a study done of a group of people over 6 months, and the people that wrote down 3 things every single night that they were grateful for. So whether it be, I'm grateful that I drank 3 liters of water today. I'm grateful that I said hello to the doorman, these little things, but you're writing down gratitude every single day. But so before you go to bed, you're creating a feeling of gratitude. You're sending that out to the universe. You're thankful, and you're okay with where you are at in life. And so that's basically where my ebook came from, was all of the tools and the 21-day program, because, it takes 21 days to create a habit.
All right, Charlie. So you and I are both big believers in habits and behaviors. And I know this is something that you really work a lot with yourself, but also everybody else that you work alongside with. How do you go about the whole habits, getting into habits, changing habits, getting rid of bad habits, the whole gist with it, so that at the end of the day, you're getting what you want no matter what that goal is?
Look, I'm a very big believer in old school writing. I know we live in a modern technology age. However, even with my ebook and what I do myself is I daily track my habits, or what I believe to be my bad habits as well. So, if I've got up in the morning and gone for a walk and I've listened to a motivational CD, if I've used my warm lemon water and had my chlorophyll, I mark that off on the chart that goes on my wall. And, that's a big tick for me. And then when I've had my 3 liters of water, I can tick that too. Don't get me wrong, there's some days there's crosses, but at the end of the day, I can look back and I can know how well I'm feeling or how bad I'm feeling because of the actions that I'm taking. So that way you can start to analyze what your good habits are, what makes you feel better about yourself and what doesn't, and we're all creatures. I think we're driven by emotions, and one of the hardest things for us to do is to stop when we are emotional, to stop, whether it be alcohol or whether it be drugs or whether it be bad food and binge eating, or, saying things to somebody that you shouldn't be saying. It's really difficult for us to stop in that moment of heightened emotions and say, what do I actually need right now? And that all comes back down to self-love and being able to say, what am I actually feeling? So being able to stop and just being able to realize that it's okay to feel upset and feel those things in your life. Or, if you are perhaps not having such good habits in your life, if you've written them down and consecutively in a row, you can see that you're not drinking 3 liters of water and that you're not, getting up in the morning and changing your mindset or setting your mindset positively, then you've got some work to do, and it's just right there in front of you. So I'm a very big believer in writing things down, but doing things for 21 days. Miracles don't happen overnight, and it's important to give your body a chance to adjust, but also to process out any of the bad things too. So, I love the quote by Aristotle that is, we are what we repeatedly do, and therefore excellence is a habit. And it's true. When you feel good, when you're treating yourself good, and I'm a big believer in that, but also more so in mindset as well. We've talked a lot about fitness, but also health and the mind. I believe it all starts in the mind, and so that's why morning walking for me, as well as it's, fat burning and it feels good, it's the most important part of my day, because it's my half an hour date with myself, and I can start to change the thoughts that are in my mind and plant good seeds there and prepare myself for the day, whether it might be a good day or a bad day, because we all have them. And I know, Chris, you probably have the same. You do live a dream life, and, creating your own lifestyle and the life you love to live. But there's always going to be the things that you don't want to do in business, and there's the times or the meetings or things happen, So, yeah, I just think it's really important to know and to have those habits for I say your own SOS. One of the things, and don't laugh, but I do think it's quite funny, and I share it with everyone possible, but I have a song on my playlist, and it is basically my SOS. So in times when I'm stressed out and might be not liking the world very much and maybe prepared to quit, I put this song on repeat until I believe it. And do you want to even guess what it is?
I have no idea. Please, can you tell me?
Oh, you're allowed to laugh. It is Mariah Carey, Hero.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, my God. I'm going to download that straight after this.
Hero inside of you.
You are such a legend. But I love that. I absolutely love that you do that. I think it's so powerful that that if you do come off course, you do come off track, that you can just jump straight to that, and that is going to change you. It's going to change your physiology, and it'll change your psychology.
Oh, exactly. And we are our thoughts, so we all have problems, and most of the time we like to think negatively. I think our brains have something like 60,000 thoughts per day, and it would be really interesting to see how much of them are actually negative, because we are prone to be worried about what's going to happen.
I'll jump in. I think I actually read something not that long ago, and I think it was because this is like a hot topic that I've been covering a lot and kind of reading about, and it's really that mindset, and it's really turning that inner critic to the inner coach. But I think it was something like 80 or more % of the thoughts that you have are negative, and how it's kind of intertwined how those thoughts naturally be negative, but you have to put the effort in to making them more of a positive. And I think that's so important how you've said that you write things down, because I do a lot of writing things down, especially like with my daily to-dos. Like you said old school, and I love that, because there's all these like to-do apps and everything like that. But for me, I actually have a pad and pen, and then say like this afternoon, I'm going to write out my main task that I have to get done for tomorrow. But a big part of that is when I get to put a line through that to-do, it's just like, it's the biggest dopamine hit going around. I'm like, oh God, that's good.
And, because you've done the work, and it's just these simple things, and there is actually something very different in having a pen to paper and expressing through your mind, and I think we are losing a little bit of our creativity in the modern technology, and a little bit of that. I'm a really big book nerd, and I only read hard books. I refuse to read ebooks.
Yes, I'm the same. I can't do it.
Oh, it just doesn't give me the same satisfaction. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere when I'm reading the pages, and the words just aren't getting into my mind. Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it's so true. I'm so old school that I want the actual book to hold and like dog ear and then put away. I'm so with it.
And you're going somewhere, and you're actually away from technology, and we're spending so much time on social media and caught up in all these things that it's one of the best things to do to escape and just, fill your mind with positive things and learn about everything that's out there in the world. And I think reading and writing is just a very big part of that. And again, creating those habits. And unfortunately, due to time restraints, but again, a really good habit, if you can, is to read for 20 to 30 minutes in the morning, while you have your breakfast, and make it a positive or an inspirational book, and put those words into your mind,
Absolutely. I'm a big believer of, especially just the way I kind of set things up, is I feed my mind actually before I literally feed my body. And I'm setting it up that way. But a great point that kind of relates together and with the getting the positivity and the writing is, what are your thoughts and use with a gratitude journal?
I think it is the most powerful thing that you can do. You know, we're all on the search for happiness. And what most people do is they say, when I get the six pack, I will be happy. Or for me, on my goal board is a white Range Rover. And, you know, but
Nice.
it's like, when I get that, I'll be happy. But hang on a minute, you're not, because you're going to keep moving those milestones. It's actually, be happy right now with everything that you've got, because when you do achieve those things, you'll still be happy.
Yes.
You know, so I think a gratitude journal and being able to write down and experience gratitude every day for the little things that happen, or for taking the time out to smile at someone, you know, to hold a door open for someone. These are the little things that create a really good atmosphere for your mind and a feel good, you know, rhythm in your body as well. And you also go to bed and you're satisfied and you're content and you kind of feel a little bit okay, because you know that, you know, whilst things might not be perfect, you're perfectly fine as you are, and you're exactly where you should be. Whatever trials and tribulations you're going through, there's always something to be grateful for, you know, and I think we take that a lot for granted every day.
Absolutely. A great book that I've read a couple of times now, and I think it's actually really changed me in the way I think and go about things. But Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way, like that just absolutely nailed it.
And I love it.
Yeah, it is so good. Like, that guy is just an absolute wizard. But it was just like, and it resonated. Like, it switched something inside of me that I was like, my God, like, yes, that's so true. And so many times now I've actually said, like, the obstacle is the way. And it's really funny. I won't unveil what you and I were just talking about before we hit record. But don't you think, Charlie, about the situation of what we were talking about before, like, their obstacle is going to be the way for them moving forward?
Exactly. And, you know, obstacles are always going to happen, whether they be big or small. And, you know, the one that we talked about is devastating, but it's your chance to show the world what you're actually made of, and that you do have resilience and that you truly believe. Because, you know, for one of my business mottos is, and it's on our value wall, is we don't make mistakes, we create opportunities. So whatever we do, and if something's not quite right, it's only an opportunity to do it better. And I've had clients that, you know, I'm running a business, I've created it from scratch, and it's been organic growth. I don't get things perfect, and if I make a mistake, and my client might give me some feedback that's not, you know, not a pat on the back, and they generally say, I'm really sorry, Charlie, but I just wasn't too happy with this. And I'm like, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, because if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't know. And again, that's where it comes back through, you know, the obstacle is the way. If you can't figure out how to do it, we don't know how to do it, you just go and figure it out, because there is always a way. And it might not be the way that you actually thought straight through that obstacle. You might have to get a bit more creative and use your mind and your powers and your inner strength and your belief. You know, we've talked about business and even the habits, and again, just going back to the habits, but the world will knock you down. You know, I really love the quote by Rocky, and it's, the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and it's true.
Yeah.
So having those healthy habits and having those goals and having a healthy body for your mind to live in is only going to take you every day to where you want to be, because you've got to have that mindset that is going to tell you that you can, because the world will tell you that you can't, and it's always so much easier to give up. You know, you can never quit if you don't, you can never fail if you never quit.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Is so much of the time people, like, okay, absolutely, you have to be doing the right things, and it's not simply just a case of doing the wrong thing over and over and over, because if you're chasing a sunrise and you're heading west, well, you're just doomed to fail at the end of the day. Like, you're just never going to get there. I don't care how far you walk. But at the end of the day, like, if you're doing the right thing, you're learning, you are getting that feedback that you need, especially like you brought up before, that self-assessment that you do for yourself every single day is a brilliant way to go about that. And that's for business, relationships, your health, your body, like spirituality, everything. I think it's just, you've just absolutely hit that apart. I tell you what, I'm definitely going to be launching this on both the podcast, the Turning Pro Academy and the Fit Body Pro, because this is just so needed for people just to sink in. I really hope we can get people thinking better, acting better. And really this is what comes down to, like, being happy at the end of the day. And everyone has that different happiness sort of definition, but I think that's great.
And it all has to start in the mind, and no matter what your goals are, you have to know your why, and you have to have your passion and your belief. And it was really interesting, Chris. I actually got asked the other day by someone if I actually believed in all this stuff. And I guess by stuff, he was talking about, the audiobooks, the inspirational quotes, the motivation. And I was just like, yes, I believe with my whole heart. Every single day, I can fill my mind with these powerful quotes, these powerful learnings that I can change the way that I've been wired, my own inner habits that I was created when I was 6 years old, and my belief systems, I can change them. It goes down to the same as you can change your genes now, epigenetics with the food that you eat.
Oh my God. Are we, you're like on the same wavelength. There's something I've really been, keep going. Sorry, you just freaked the hell out.
So, like we're told all these certain things, or even when we're young, we're kind of told that you'll be this, or, you might be the bad kid in the family, or you're destined to fail, or you might not have a loving family, or something like that. And you can take it with you for your whole life, or you can play the victim, or you can do the work every day and fill your mind, and you can change your future. The same as the food that you eat can change your genes. And I just absolutely love that, because even if you're predisposed to things like cancer or diabetes, if you go out and you live healthy, if you begin to understand the food that you're putting into your body, if you learn to read the labels, and notice what makes you feel good. Again, I'm not talking about diets. There is no diet for everyone. I really believe in biochemical individuality, and what works for you might not work for me. And I saw the other day you had your blood test done, and I thought that was really interesting. For me, one thing that I can't eat yogurt, but I can't eat ice cream, which is probably really good. Blessing in disguise.
I think that's the one thing we're not the same about, but that's okay. I'll let you go. I think that is a really good point, especially with the genetic side of things as well. Like a part of that gene test, it came back that I actually had a very high likelihood for heart disease, and that's actually how my grandfather passed away at a very early age. But, and this is a very big but, his diet and lifestyle was not the healthiest by any means. Being a very, very happy Irish man that loved to drink a lot and definitely not have the healthiest of food choices, that would have been what I believe to be a very, very big factor, a part of that. And that's also one reason why I'm like, this is a big health part. And absolutely, the vanity side of things, people come first. Like people want to go, right, I want to be in great shape. I want to be sexy. I want that six pack, whatever that is, absolutely. But I think at the same time, and this is something I try to harp on a lot about, is I want your health in the front seat as well. And this goes with my physique coaching clients. It's like, I don't believe in getting you in shape if it's going to affect your health. Like I don't believe in you going through a radical diet of any sorts if it's going to really impact your health in a negative way. And like, okay, maybe the one caveat is putting someone on stage, there is that last kind of like few weeks that things aren't absolutely superb for health, but that's perfectly fine. We take care of that after. But I think so many people miss that. And it's a shame because I've seen family members die literally because of their health and their lifestyle choices. And another family member I saw, and I just never forget, it was caused because he had cancer, then he had gangrene, and he went through like just a horrible process before he passed away, but the thing was, and it's kind of like the obstacle as well, is what I've really taken out of that was I'm never going to smoke, like just never going to smoke, because a big part of his problem was like the lung cancer and him smoking. I was just like, it's from a very young age, that was just embedded in my head. Like seeing him in the intensive care, it was just like, nah, not for me.
And it's so interesting, like you've just got to become aware of what you're putting into your body and what it does. We're so miseducated by mass marketing teams. And again, it's not that you have to go and do specific diets or do anything like that. It's just learn to listen to what food works for you.
Yeah.
Does getting up and walking in the morning work for you? Does going to yoga every day, you know, and that's something I truly believe has changed my life. Is I go to yoga every single day. I have one day off a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I go to my mat and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just going to do child's pose the whole time.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, it never works out that way. But it is a mind, body, soul connection. And that 1 hour is just for me to just be. And one of my coaches, one of my yogis once said, you know, once you walk into the yoga room, you drop off every other pretense of who you're meant to be. You're not Charlie from Charlie's Ball.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a single girl in the city. You're not an ex-fitness model or whatever anybody might, you know, your labels as such.
Yeah, that story that you tell yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I just love that. You just 1 hour of the day out of 24 that you've got, you just go and you honor your body and say thank you. And my gosh, honestly, like I actually love it because yogis, like the strength that you get is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it's finding what works for you. You know, some people might be Pilates, but it's just knowing, again, going back to those habits, is this a good habit? Am I doing something good for me? If I want to be a dream chaser, if I want to create my dream reality, is going out till 3 a.m. in the morning going to help me with my goals? You know, is that meal of McDonald's or whatever it might be, that food that you're eating, is that going to make me feel good? Am I going to feel productive this afternoon? Am I going to make the phone calls that perhaps I don't really want to make? No, it's not. You know, whereas if you have the rainbow salad, you know you're going to feel good. Your body kind of has a little party on the inside.
Rainbow salad. There's this cafe down the road that does a rainbow salad. It's phenomenal. Nice call.
I just believe in the rainbow diet. I really do. You know, I think it's eat as much color as possible, but also we go back to that mind association of how our digestive system is meant to work by associating food, or even when you're preparing it, you know, that's the scent. It starts the enzymes in your body, and you actually sit down and you're like, you can literally feel your body kind of saying, I can't wait to get this in me. You know, I can't to eat this. Or, you know, when you're going to those beautiful healthy cafes and you just know, you kind of get excited, probably because you're going to have a good time with some friends as well, but you're going to enjoy good nutritious food and you're going to feel amazing after.
No, I'm so with you. All right, we've just absolutely been crushing this, Charlie. Before I let you go, like what else do you want to share with the listener right now? What is something that is just like, I just have to get this out into the world, into the listener's mind to get them taking better action?
Do you know, I really, really believe, and we've already kind of covered it, but the writing it down and even keeping a journal for yourself. You know, I've been through situations in my life where I wasn't anywhere close to happy. I wasn't even the person that I wanted to be. And every single day I wrote to myself and I wrote a journal and just got my feelings out, because sometimes you've got to find a way to express it. And, you know, and I've kept them. I understand my low point, and now that even makes it more, I guess I kind of have to do the tools and the habits that I've created, because I know I can see the difference from where I've come and to where I'm going, but also where I am right now, you know, and understanding that, and practicing patience with yourself. We all expect these miracles overnight. Get your chart out and do something every single day that is better for yourself, and start one habit for 21 days, whether that be, and my number one thing is 3 liters of water, you know, and I know the recommended is something like 2 liters, but how many coffees do you drink per day? Do you take a pre-workout? Do you take a thermogenic? You know, that all going to take away your water and your hydration, and most of us are dehydrated. So it's learning to listen to your body and just saying, hey, do I need a time out? You know, I have something, we've talked about self-love, and I have a Sunday self-love. It's a date. It's a date with myself, and I like to say I am the CEO of my life. So it's unbreakable. You know, imagine if you said to your boss, I can't come to the meeting because I can't for whatever reason. It's a date with myself, and again, I am a little bit of a feel-good emotional person, talking about my Mariah Carey hero, but it's 1 hour. I watch a romantic comedy and I turn my phone off and I just have a chill time.
Yeah.
And that's me, you know, and it's just like, okay. But then also part of that is then I've reset, and then I can write down my goals and I can say, what have I done well this week? And what is my focus this week? You know, and so learning to appreciate the hard work that you're doing, like stop being so hard on yourself and practice patience and look in the mirror and just say, I love you. Like if you can do that every single day with a smile on your face, you can watch yourself bloom. There's something that you can reference, Chris, and it's Brad Pitt, obviously the hottest man in the world. But he wrote a quote about Angelina Jolie, and I'm on Team Jen still, but it was something, like she was sick. And so he started looking after her, and he started telling her how beautiful she was and, catering to her as such. And she just blossomed. And we all will. It's the same as, the water theory about how water responds, and trees that you plant and things with positivity. We need to create environments in our own worlds that are our safe places, but it has to start within you. You've got to have your emergency song or your emergency habit that you can run to when things aren't so good, because it happens. And honestly, I'm just over a year into my own business. Practically happens every day, nearly. And I have to be like, okay, it's all right. Everything's going to be okay. So it's learning those self-soothes or having those mantras. So it's just creating habits that work for you and finding that belief and knowing your why. You've got to know your why. If, you've got to know your why and what you're doing and what makes you happy. What are you most passionate about creating change,
I think that's so awesome. And I think it really kind of like links in as well to the entrepreneurial yo-yo of the ups and downs, and having that, that Mariah Carey hero definitely helps with that whole process. Maybe I'm going to get into the whole hero. Maybe this could start something right now.
I know. You'll start to see like all these big sales in iTunes, Spotify. Yeah. Number one song.
You can thank us, Mariah, for starting that. Thank Charlie, because she's just absolutely started the movement. It's gone viral now.
Oh, but it works. It honestly just does work. And I don't care if you're crying while you listen to it, but you've got to listen to it on repeat until you believe it. And say, okay, I've had a little time out. I can go and face the world, because it's tough out there.
All right, Charlie, now before I let you go, I know the listener is just absolutely loving everything that's coming out of your mouth right now and is going to want a lot more. Where are they going to find you? How do they learn more about you? What's going on with Charlie's balls? How can they actually start eating them? Because I'm going to highly recommend them, and I know I'm going to be ordering some when I come back to Sydney in a couple of weeks. Where do we go?
It makes me really happy when people eat my balls. So basically the website is thecleantreatsfactory.com. So it's a twist on, obviously, Charlie and the Clean Treats Factory, the new age chocolate.
Oh,
there is the Clean Treats Factory is on Instagram. I'm just trying to start that with the launch of the new packaged product, and also Charlie De Haas on Instagram is great. And I have my personal website where you can read about all of my thoughts and crazy ideas, and I guess some inspiration, I hope. And that's charliedehas.com.au.
Done and done. We're going to put all those links in the show notes so people can get straight on over for that, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
When I come back to Sydney in a couple of weeks, I'm going to get a photo of me eating your balls, and we're going to put it out there because I can't be missing out.
No, that's right. Everyone's got to eat them.
It's what everyone do. Everyone please eat Charlie's balls because they are divine and they're going to feed your soul.
That's right, it is. And they're made with love. I sing to my balls.
I'm biting my tongue right now. Okay, so good.
I will just clarify really quickly the sounds of not, any hate or anything. It's the India RE, so you can quote her as well. She's another one of I swear she's changed my life. She has beautiful music like You Are Beautiful Like a Flower, More Powerful Than a Diamond. And, I believe that energy does go into the food that we eat as well. So it's about having good food with good thoughts.
Charlie, I've absolutely loved this. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking again so soon.
Thank you so much for your time.
So now it's time for you to click on over to chrisdufay.com. That's chrisdufey.com to get all the guides and show notes. And if you are wanting the workshops where I walk you through how to build your online business, click on over to chrisdufay.com/start here. This is where I can give you the exact training guides and the workshops for exactly where you're at and the answers that you need. Now, every Friday I'm coming back to you with a new episode. So be sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, you're going to be getting the world's best insights, the advice and the answers to give you the business, the money, the freedom and the success and happiness that you want. And I want to give you a huge muchas gracias for being here with me. And as always, get in touch with me via the site or via social, as Ask the Pro is about me giving you the answers that you need. So ask away.